Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies.
Relax, be cool, cause if you don't, you'll act like a fool, so be cool.
In commemoration of the upcoming Dune Part 1, I believe, I'm taking a look back on the original 1984 flick, Dune. It's based on a book. I've never read it. Only found out that it was based on a book recently. It's been adapted numerous times with shades of success and quality. I've never seen them. Didn't know they existed either. Okay, so Dune is a big deal, I guess. We'll get to that. The only thing that I can personally say about it is that I knew it existed. It's been somewhat heralded as a sci-fi classic. Again, we'll get to that, or at the very least, I know it's been referenced a bunch, and, well, that's about it. Needless to say, I've never seen this movie before. And from what I understand, that's not exactly the biggest shock. I've heard mixed things about this. There are those that, well, like I said, call it a sci-fi classic, and others say that it's a boring insomniac killer. It's David Lynch, though. I have to assume that there's some artistic merit in this. I guess I'm about to find out. So let's get to it. This is my honest opinion of Dune. Set in the distant future of 10,000 and some change. The planet Arrakis, also known as Dune, is the only place where a super special substance called spice can be found. All of the big factions of the universe want to control it for themselves because it grants prolonged life and safe interstellar travel. Paul Atreides, played by Kyle MacLachlan, is the son of one of the big factions who is sent in. Soon begins a grand conspiracy to kill Paul, who is thought to be a huge threat to the balance of power. And Paul finds himself a new set of unlikely allies.
The Harkonnens are our enemies, yes. But behind them, I suspect, is the Emperor.
Let me take a wild guess. To all of you actual fans of Dune out there, you're probably screaming and cursing at your monitors right now. And asking the question, the very fair question, did I even actually watch Dune? I did. All 2 hours and 15 minutes of it. I'm just gonna be honest here, I have no idea what the hell this thing was about. Sorry, this is a prime example of how to make sci-fi not work. I won't pretend that there weren't some good merits to it, but I promise you probably won't like the positives that I have to say about it. So let's get into it. The most gargantuan problem with the film is the world building. It's pure nonsense. And for the most part, there's no real emotional investment. You know it's a bad sign when a sci-fi movie starts belting out words that no common person would understand. The universe is ruled by Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV. Spice allows the space guild travel to hold space!
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Dude, who are these factions? Give me faces, give me their motivations, and most important of all, give me a reason to care. Look, I've never read the book. I hope to God that it does a better job of developing its characters, because this movie is more concerned with giving us faction names, generalized motivations, but zero investment in the characters. I can't stress that enough, because failure to do so creates a boring story. I won't pretend it's all bad. There are a few characters that held my attention, and I feel like I understood what their purpose was in the story. You have Patrick Stewart's character, Gurney Halleck. He comes across as a caring mentor who takes Paul's training seriously. A no-nonsense warrior, but not without his compassionate side. Loyal to his faction of the story, but is willing to see when he's at fault and on the wrong side of the conflict.
Not in the mood. Mood's a thing for cattle and love play, not fighting.
I'm sorry, Gurney.
Not sorry enough.
But I would be remiss if I didn't shed light on the one redeeming factor of this movie that provided the most entertainment value for me. The villains. This is probably where I became the most invested in this movie. and likely not for the intended reasons. The performance out of Kenneth McMillan as Baron Harkonnen was an absolute delight. He's basically a Bond villain, but in space. He cackles with delight over his own doings. He hovers around like a dork and clearly loves to be the bad guy of the movie. McMillan is so hammy and makes his character endearing as he's disgusting.
Just some spittle in your face. What a luxury.
And just as hilarious are his henchmen, the Beast Rabin, played by Paul Smith, and Fade, played by Sting. Yes, the famed musician, who also inspired the look of John Constantine of the Hellblazer comics. Little fun fact for those not in the know. Anyway, they're both so much fun to watch. One's a dim-witted but entertainingly loyal baddie, and Fade is this smug little bastard that should be posing next to a Lamborghini than be carrying out the will of the main antagonist of a space epic. But I love it. Oh dear sweet Jesus.
Fade. Lovely Fade.
That scene alone was worth the entire watch. I feel like the filmmakers were well aware that Dune had a complicated lore to it, and they were also aware of the limited runtime. So in order to cut corners, they did the one thing that annoys me the most that any filmmaker could do: unnecessary narrations. They are relentless in this movie. I've seen very few films that do this correctly. At nearly every scene, someone's inner dialogue comes creeping out to let us know what's happening, why it's happening, and how they feel about it. And that's if we're very, very lucky. Most of the time, it's just one of the three subjects and adds nothing. If the movie had no faith that the characters' emotions would come across in the performances, then it was bound to not work. On some occasions, it even felt like the movie was talking down to the audience. I mean, I doubt it, and it's more likely a case of fear that the story's complications wouldn't be clear and the filmmakers just overcompensated.
From my dreams. So beautiful.
Come with me, I'll show you an easier way down.
If I were to hazard a guess, the book is huge in scope and likely a lengthy read. Books have the luxury of being as long as they need, and the best ones will have a balance of lore and character development. So to try and adapt said book in the year 1984 was likely not going to happen, given the limited technology at the time and probably audience sensibilities as well. It couldn't have been easy, but I have to give credit. There are good elements. It has some striking visuals and great set pieces. It clearly tried something and it just didn't work. David Lynch is likely far more critical of this movie than any one of us could ever be, and given the man's career since, it's not exactly a surprise. Personally, I don't think it's all bad, and if you can learn to appreciate what's in it, especially the talent that would come out of it, then honestly, I still kind of recommend it. I mean, I wouldn't go in expecting a good movie. It's really not. But it's admirable in what it tries to do. It has elements that I feel like should not be overlooked. It won't be for everyone, and that should be understandable even to the most diehard fans. But it's something. My honest rating for Dune, a 3 out of 5.
They are ready to fight, yet in order to lead them, I must conquer the worm, conquer Shai-Hulud.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon. One final caveat as you guys move on with your day, I've decided to test my luck at a Patreon, so please consider supporting the channel. No obligations, of course, no content is gated off, but any and all support would mean a lot. Links in the description. Have a great one, folks.